You say to me that in the beginning of your thinking, you are looking at the human beings as perfect from the beginning. I totally agree with this, Mohammed.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yes. Not only as smart, but also great abilities. I think the first man was like Superman.
Yes.
Brain power, spiritual power. Okay. They didn't use any technology. They used their abilities. Okay. But by time, and when they lived on Earth, and there are some phenomena, volcanoes, wind, disasters from the sun, meteorites, solar flare, so many chances for disasters can end mankind easily. And by the way, in any ancient civilization, you will find always a story is talking about the destruction of mankind. Okay. So my own opinion that this disaster happened many, many, many times, not one or five or 10, as if cycles of civilizations and cycles of disasters. Okay. So they had to go under the ground to hide. You will find also in many ancient civilizations and in many countries, underground villages and towns, like the famous one in Dronku in Turkey.
Turkey.
They call it Cappadocia. It's a design under the ground, can fit 7,000 people. Okay. Also in Egypt, in Peru, in Mexico, in China, in many, many places. Okay. There is a big problem when you hide under the ground. Your brain, your body will be disconnected with the sun. Okay. No sun. And this will affect two things. Will affect your pineal gland inside the brain, which is responsible for the human person being to become smart with logic, and will affect also your bones, the skeleton. Okay. That's why if people start live under the ground and start to have children under the ground, never exposed to the sun, they will become an exact shape of what we call them the cavemen. So cavemen is not the beginning. No, cavemen is a result of hiding under the ground. And when the disaster come down and they can go outside again, they started to connect it with the sun again. They started to get some of their abilities back, but not all of them. And then another disaster, they hide, and then you go outside, and then you go under the ground. And then, you know, in modern days, the most smart person on earth is using how much from the brain power? 13%.
14.
13. Imagine. So 87% gone, disappeared. Why? Because of these disasters. Okay.
I understand.
That plus the ability to heal the body, self-healing. Okay. So now the time to answer your question. Why these megalithic structures? Why these pyramids, obelisks, temples? Because most of them were energy factories.
Yes.
To produce energies, and also for healing centers. Because they understood that one day they will lose their powers, so they need technology. They need devices, they need buildings, they need something to help them to have their own energy and their own healing.
To recover this ancient knowledge, to recover it.
Yes,
Yes.
exactly.
Okay. Who? Why is we go to the next?
Okay.
How did you say to me something that I want to take again is they had this knowledge in their bodies. They had
Yes.
already the technology to understand the universe.
Yes.
How? How did they create these incredible memories in America, in China, as you say, in Turkey and in Egypt?
Mhm. Yes,
How?
because as I told you, they were one big group of people, the same group. They had the same knowledge. Okay. And my own belief also that they were together in one place, not scattered around like nowadays. Or that one place was one big continent. Okay. So they were not separate. So the Pangaea, the story of Pangaea Island or Pangaea continent. Okay, one big continent. So they were together. And then when they started to immigrate, some to Africa, and the center of Pangaea was Egypt. Okay.
Mhm. Okay.
So when they started to migrate, some went to Africa, some went to Far East, some to Far West, some to North to Europe. And by the way, if you come to Egypt and visit Egypt, if you travel from north to south and from east to west, you will see different features of the Egyptians. We are not all the same features.
Ah.
We share different features. How? The people at the north are mostly European faces like South Europe. If you visit
Mhm.
Alexandria, you feel
Yes.
yourself like in South Italy, South Spain, South France.
Okay.
When you visit south of Egypt, could be from Africa. Black
Yes.
skin, nose, big lips. If you visit East Egypt and Sinai, as if you are in Gulf area, the same features like the Saudi, like the Kuwait, like the Yemen, Emirates. If you visit west of Egypt, especially an oasis called Siwa Oasis, they are the same like North Africa, Libya, Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia,
Mhm.
even the language. Okay, they speak in this oasis a language, we call it Amazigh language. The Romans used to call it Berber language. In North Africa, they speak the same language.
Ah.
Okay. So Egypt was the center of this ancient world. Okay.
You
So
say
they had.
something, excuse me, you say
Uh,
something I think to call my attention. You say everyone knows everything in that
yes.
time.
Yes.
Everyone has access to wisdom, to knowledge, to technologies. Is
Right.
right? Okay.
Okay.
Nice.
So what happened that they were using the same technology even after they started to travel to
Yes.
immigrate. Okay. That's why you see pyramids in Mexico, pyramids in China. You see the Göbekli Tepe in Turkey. You see Stonehenge. You see
Yes.
some unknown because Africa is still not explored, but I believe there are thousands of megalithic buildings in Africa, in the African jungles and the African desert, but still unknown. Okay. So because later when they understood that one day they will lose their powers, they used what was left from their abilities to build these structures. So they built these structures with the ancient advanced knowledge they had. They had great knowledge, great technology, much better than the technology we have nowadays.
Of course. You
How
speak.
I do
You
that?
spoke with. You spoke with Billy Carlson
Yes.
about anti-gravity. I
Yes.
understand the only way to construct these structures and move so incredible stones has to know anti-gravity.
Of course, because when you visit many sites, and I can bring only two sites, one in Egypt and one in Lebanon. Okay. The one in Egypt is Karnak Temple, and the one in Lebanon called Baalbek City.
Baalbek City. Okay.
Yes. We talk about one design, the obelisk in Karnak Temple. Each obelisk is 500 ton, and some are 700 ton. This is too much to understand. Like one piece of a stone, 500 ton, and another one 700 ton. Okay, if we talk about modern days, do we have a crane
No,
can carry 500 ton and 700
no,
ton?
absolutely
No.
not.
And even if we have one, it will not move 200 kilometers from the granite quarry to Karnak Temple. Okay, that is impossible.
Hmm.
And in Baalbek Temple, there is an unfinished block at the quarry, is the same weight, almost 1,000 ton. And it's
Yes,
not one, there are many. And many of these blocks were already built under the in the foundation of the temple. Imagine hundreds of pieces. Each one is 1,000 ton. Like, I don't imagine what does it mean 1,000 ton. If we think that a group of cars, each car is almost 1 ton, the regular car. Okay, so we talk about 1,000 cars together. That will be the weight of each block. Okay. So it would be insane to try to think that a group of people were trying to push this block.
no,
This is impossible. Even machines, bulldozers,
no.
helicopters. No, this is not the case. Because there is other example, the Great Pyramid. The Great Pyramid, maybe the blocks are not very big like the obelisk, but they are 5 ton, 10 ton, 20. Okay, but what is the problem with the Great Pyramid and other pyramids? That there are too many blocks. 2,500,000 blocks. So imagine if you try to push 2,500,000 blocks. How long, how many years you need to do this job? Okay, we are not talking about 10 blocks or 20. There are 2,500,000 blocks. Okay, so yes, nothing can explain this except gravity control. That is the only
Yes,
solution.
that's so. Do you, when Nassim Haramein spoke about this, Mohammed, take to me one of 10 tons, I will put it here. No, 5 tons. It's impossible. I understood some physicians which are studying anti-gravity as Victor Schauberger. He understood the movements of the salmon, of the trout, against the current of the rivers,
Okay.
because they had the possibility to understand with their nose where was the anti-gravity flow. So therefore, this is possible that anti-gravity, salmons, the fish knows it. Why we not? I am sure that this kind of civilizations knew it perfectly.
Yes. 5 days ago, I was in Miami. I was in Florida.
Yes.
And I visited Coral Castle.
Coral Castle. Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
And I saw the picture of Ed. Okay.
Yes.
He was short guy, very short, very thin.
Yes.
And he said he discovered one of the secrets of the ancient Egyptians.
Yes.
I think he was talking about anti-gravity.
Yes.
And yes, you was doing the machine. Yes, I saw the machine. Yes, I saw it inside. Okay, because and it built Coral Castle by himself.
Yes,
This
because
small guy.
because he was in love.
Exactly. Okay.
It's-
How come he cannot lift on more than 10 kilograms? Okay. But there are some blocks at Coral Castle, 30 ton. So how? Again, he had access to this knowledge, gravity control. Yes, no
Yes,
doubt.
no doubt. I understood that
Mhm.
he was, I don't, focalizing a stone. He was so in love
Mhm.
with the girl that he wanted to impress her. And therefore, he,
I
he
think
made,
I think this is the commercial story. No, I
okay,
think
okay, but
yes,
it's
because
nice. But he,
I will write
yes,
I will write about my visit. I visit the place with Billy Carson. We were together there
yes,
and had a very special tour with the manager of Coral Castle. She was very
uh-huh.
happy to meet both of us. Okay, so I can tell you, we saw many things are not known to the public.
Mm.
So Coral Castle is not a castle. No, no, no. It's a big place for, it's like observatory. It's like a healing center. And you are lucky you are the first one to know this. I didn't talk about it yet. So
Mm.
this is my first time to talk about. Coral Castle hides so many things. But in the near future, we will talk more about Coral Castle.
Very nice. Very
Mhm.
nice. I understand that we are using, perhaps we are coming now to a moment when we can understand the use of anti-gravity and the magnetic field, not,
Mhm.
not just the visible things, but also the invisible things.
Yes.
Unifying this energy and knowing it with the heart and the mind, we can perhaps, as human beings, give a new one step more in our lifetimes.
Of course, when and this is the benefit of studying the ancient history. When we know our history and we know how they achieved these things, we can understand their techniques and their technology. So it will help us in modern days.
Of course. I
Mhm.
I hope we can. I think we are many people from different cultures. We are now matching to understand these kind of things. I mean,
Right.
before you are very, if you are tired, we can continue someday. But who were these people? Who?
Ah, these people are our ancestors. Okay. I'm not saying only Egyptians, but remember I was saying that everybody used to live together at the ancient continent. And by the way, I have also another strange opinion and theory
Yes.
that during the time of this advanced, okay, I think maybe the first or the second disaster was about to happen. They had two solutions. Solution number one is to go under the ground and hide under the ground. But it seems that there is a group of people didn't like this solution. They said, why we hide under the ground? We will become dumb. Okay. Because hiding
Mhm.
under the ground and the
Yes.
sun. So I think they chose to hide or to escape from Earth. They went up to the sky and they lived maybe because they had all the knowledge at the time. They had great knowledge. Okay. So I think these people are what we call them nowadays aliens. They come to visit us because we are their relatives.
Of course.
So they come to see us and visit us. So who were there? These people, they were our ancestors who lived millions of years ago. I know this number is surprising.
Mm,
Okay.
yes, of course. We have, with all respect, I have to say that our religions,
Mm,
the Catholicism, Judaism, Muslim, Islam, in the classic version we know, doesn't speak about this, doesn't
mm,
speak about Egypt,
mhm,
doesn't speak about our origins. They
mhm,
they relate a very short story with no uh, anchorage in the
mm.
memories.
You know, by the way, no, if you allow me, this is not correct. They speak, but unfortunately, the storyteller is the one who hide the information.
I agree with you.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes. Like there is in Quran, when Quran in Islamic religion talk about Adam, the first human, Quran says Adam was so knowledgeable. He had all the knowledge. It is written clear in Quran. But Muslims don't pay attention to this information.
Mm.
Okay. Also in Quran, it talks about the sky and paying attention to the sky and to the movement of the Muslims don't pay attention to this. I think the same happened in Christianity and Judaism.
Yes.
The people don't pay attention, and by time it became unimportant information, so it was neglected.
Uh-huh. I understand, and I ask excuse because I don't understand. I really believe that this knowledge was,
Mm.
but the storytelling was totally
Yes.
disturbed, not
Ex-
real. And we, as Argentina, we have very little connection with this deep knowledge, very little, Mohammed. It's a privilege
Yes.
for me to speak with some people, with you, who has this in your feet, in your heart, in your mind.
Mhm. So why I'm saying this? When I was writing my book,
Yes.
Egypt Before the Written History, I wanted to present some geological evidence because at the Egyptian Museum and other museums, I saw what we call it flint tools from flint stone. Okay, you know flint stone?
No.
No, this brown round stone, very strong.
Uh-huh.
The one you see it
Flintstone.
next to the rivers.
Uh-huh. Flintstone. Okay.
Flint.
Okay.
This stone was popular in Stone ages. Okay, when you hit it together, when you cut the flint stone, it creates very sharp blades like knives. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so I found so many tools, and these tools, it looks like our modern tools, but in primitive way. Like what? Like a knife, like a drill, manual drill,
See.
like axe, like a hammer. Okay, the same shape like our modern tools, but from flint. So I started to ask myself, did they or we copy the style? Because when you see the knife, it is like our kitchen knives, the same
Yes.
shape. Okay, it is not just a piece of flint. No, they made it to look like modern knife, but from steel, but the old one from flint. Okay, so I start to think, how come we have the same shape, them and us? So who copied who? Did we do the same shape like them, or they did the same shape like us, but not us, our ancestors? So I think that the first copy was made by smart people who lost their technology, lost their civilization, but didn't lose their power, their mind, their knowledge. But they didn't have steel or iron, so they used flint. So they made flint to look like the same tools they used to have when they had civilization.
You are speaking, if I
This tool,
understand, that they were creator of materials to create the needed tools. They created.
yes, exactly. Okay, because they wanted to survive and they wanted tools. But because of the disaster, they lost everything. Everything was melted. If it is from the sun, heat waves from the sun will melt everything. But stone will survive against the sun. So I found that some of these tools, 100,000 BC, 300,000 BC, 600,000 BC, 1 million BC, 2 million BC, and the oldest one I know is 2.3 million BC.
2.3 million DC.
Yes. This is the oldest tool, was found where? In Egypt. Okay. And this is not my story. This is geological story.
I want to ask you something more, perhaps
Yes.
direct to you, to your soul, How do you feel living with this knowledge so old, and your daily life and our future? How do you see the world? Please tell us, how do you see yourself in this universe? Plenty of wisdom, technologies, possibilities.
Yeah. I see myself in a mission, and like an ambassador from the ancient days to the modern days, to try to lead the people to see some truths about the ancient people, and to tell them the how to know, not only telling them stories, but also to explain to them how to find more stories. So they don't need me all the time. They need me 1 or 2 times to explain to them how to depend on themselves to find and to do analysis. So I truly see myself in a mission, trying to teach people, to show them the way to understand about their past.
I feel very, very heavy responsibility after listening to you, Mohamed,
Yes, it is.
because we are not these simple marionettes or puppets. We are more than we understand. And if we understand, we can become more powerful and respectful, and perhaps
You're
compassionate
right.
people.
You're right. 20 years ago, when I started to work as a tour guide, I didn't see many people were interested in these stories. But 10 years ago, there were many, many people. These days are huge community of people are interested. So that's why I feel happy. And this is a very good reason for me to keep going.
Nice. We will have this video with subtitles and show it in American Spanish-speaking communities through my friends.
That will be great. I will
Yes,
appreciate
it will be from today, perhaps.
it.
When? Today. I have not so much to ask you. So only, what do you want to say to us, which are not visiting Egypt today or perhaps in the future? But what is your message for people who perhaps never will come to Egypt anytime?
Okay. This is very important. Egypt, in Egypt, we call it the motherland. Okay. I think,
Motherland.
yes,
Yes.
every country, every nation is calling their country motherland. But we are not calling Egypt motherland for the Egyptians only. No, we call Egypt the motherland for all humanity. And if you look to the map,
Yes.
you will find Egypt at the center of the world.
Yes.
Try to do this. Try to bring a map and do measurements. You'll find Egypt at the center of the world. So if you put back all the continents, you'll find Egypt also at the center. So Egypt truly is the motherland for all of us. And as I explained to you, when you come to Egypt, you find the white people, the black people, the yellow people, tall, big, all kinds of people, okay? So when you come to Egypt, as if you come to your source, okay? And this is not not my personal story only, but because I met hundreds of thousands of people during the last 20 years, and all of them told me the same thing, that they had a call to come to Egypt. And when they came to Egypt, they felt great, as if they came back to the source of energy. Their powers, their energies, their soul was receiving this energy. Many of them were ready to respond, and their life changed, okay? Because they came to their mother, as if Egypt was welcoming them and caring about them. So my message to the world, Egypt is calling you. Maybe you realize now, maybe not yet, okay? But the moment when you feel or understand that there is a call for you, don't be late. Respond to the call and come to Egypt, because it will be the right time for you to change your life or to keep going in a better way. It will be the time to receive the energy from the motherland.
Oh, very nice. I understand. I will be there sometime. Yes. I have now more than gratitude for you because I am so little to ask about this knowledge and for people who does not come to Egypt, you have something to do to say?
Read about it. Yes.
Yes.
You
Your
don't have
book.
to come to Egypt, read about Egypt. And yes, honestly, not because of my book, but because it is a good book. I wrote this book in 5 years, okay?
Yes.
I could finish this book in a short time, but I wanted to write it in very slow process, so I can add the right, because the information are too many. So in order to give you one good story, the chapters of the story, okay, to give you a very good idea about ancient Egypt, it took me a while to put together these chapters. So when you read this book, you will have very good idea about Egypt and about the pre-Diluvian Egypt, Egypt before written history. I'm talking about Egypt of 2.3 million BC, okay? It is not only Egypt 5,000 years old or 7,000 years old. No, I'm talking about Egypt 500,000 years old, Egypt 1 million years old, and Egypt 2 million years old. I'm talking about the existence of many civilizations, advanced civilizations, high technology. I'm talking about the origin of the pyramids and the function of the pyramids as great technology, okay? So many other things you will find very interesting in this book. And if you don't have this book, you can read any book, read anything about Egypt and about the Egyptian history. You will start to collect good information, and that will help you. Trust me, it will help you in your modern days, in your life now. Reading about the past will help you to proceed in your regular life.
Of course. Thank you, Mohamed. I am very grateful for your time, for your searching, and for your answers. And the last thing is, when you travel in this modern world, how do you see it? How, from your heart, from your soul, how do you see this world in conflict, wars, these distortions? I see many people many people. Not here where I am in Bariloche, in a very beautiful place. You are welcome. In the south of Argentina, we have here national parks and mountains and clear water, incredible beauty. And perhaps it helps people to be in better mental and emotional health. But how do you see the world and how we can contribute studying Egyptian knowledge to do a better world in our days, not with expectations, false expectations. Now,
to the ancient Egyptian knowledge. How? In ancient Egypt, they used to believe that there are 5 cycles of the sun. Okay? Early morning, dawn, and then morning, noon, afternoon, and sunset. And these cycles are not only the day cycles. No, they can be bigger cycles, can be 25,000 years each cycle, or a little bit more, okay? So we can call it cycle of civilization. So 2012 was the end of cycle number 4. This cycle was cycle of darkness. Cycle of number 5. Cycle
2012.
Yes. You know, when
Yes.
the mind said end of the world, no, it was the end of the cycle of Amun-Ra, cycle of darkness. We are now in cycle number 1 again, cycle of beginning of light. Okay, that's why there are so many conflicts now around the world, because people started to see some people will respond, some people will not respond. So we are fighting, and maybe other places in the world will have more problems. But within 10 years, and take it from me, now this is a statement, within 10 years, everything will come down and we will go rise. We will be better. We are going to be much better in 10 years.
Okay.
If we want to do this, or if we don't, it's the nature, the power of nature.
The power of nature. Yes, of course. I feel that we are going now through the initiation of a massive human awakening, people. I feel it in my heart, in my body. I feel that we can use this time in a high quality mindset.
Yes, it is the cycle of light, as I told you.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
You are welcome.
Allahu Akbar. Thank you. Thank you very much. And have a nice time for you and your family. And thank you for this time.
Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye. Salam.
Salam.